Welcome to another exciting Guns of Icarus match. I'm with Elusive today of the Ducks. Elusive, how are you?
I'm doing alright. Happy to be here.
It's going to be a fun match. Battle on the Dunes. This is the Glowwater Thralls versus the Ducks. Starting out with the ships here. The Dancing Feather. It's a junker, piloted up by Frogger himself. We have a Cilia, a Whirlwind, two Artemis, and a Hades. That Hades positioning, by the way, is bottom left. And our second ship, the Admiral Quackbar, piloted by Sammy. We've got Banshee, two Artemis, a Barking Dog, and a Hades. Could you tell us really quick about the Glowwater Thrall ships, please?
Glowwater Thralls. Alright, well, if we're looking at which one now?
Let's go Arcane Bolt first.
Okay, so the Arcane Bolt are set up with the Artemis rocket launchers. They are going to be trying with that Mercury on the top to do a little bit of distance. They really don't want to close in, but if they do close in, they have their lower deck lower deck silent mortar and a Gatling gun, should it come to that. But for the most part, they're going to be wanting to turn those Artemises and that Mercury on them to do a lot of disabling.
Mm-hmm. And what about that Spire over there, the Unratis?
So Spires, as we all know, there are two different ways to go through it. You can actually go Sumo Spire or for a long-range sniping Spire. For them, they do have a Lumberjack on the front, so they're going to be trying to do a lot of balloon popping, running some interference while the Mobula does what it does best, disabling and doing whatever else it can just to mess up the other team. They do have an Artemis and a Hades on there as well, so the Hades will be trying to strip hull, while the Artemises will do a sort of explosion on the hull while they go with the Mobula, who also has Artemis, so there's a lot of perma-hull damage at the same time.
Now, you are of Ducks. You are a Duck member. What can you tell us about the Admiral Quackbar and Dancing Feather? They're your leaders. What can you tell us about their fighting style?
So, the way that Frogger likes to set up his Dancing Feather is he always loves to do his long range. He likes to pull those two Artemises and the Hades and do sort of the trifecta that we all know the Junkers are famous for. Artemis is, of course, knocking out components and doing what they can, while the Hades strips the hull and lights things on fire, doing whatever else it can. They are very good at doing a conjunction with the other Junker, because they too actually have a Banshee on there to do some perma-hull damage with theirs going on at the same time.
Now, what about the effect of that Hades and that Banshee focusing their fire on a single ship? How devastating is that?
So, if Sammy has his Junker turned to the right side, where he has his Barking Dog Carronade and his Banshee, it's a terrible combination with Frogger, because not only is their balloon out, they're falling through the air, and everything on their ship is broken because of components, but they're also getting ripped to shreds from the Banshee from the perma-hull damage that it's famous for.
Arcane Bolt taking shots now as the Unratis is as well. Admiral Quackbar has lost their entire balloon. They are losing components. Their hull is going down. My goodness. Devastating blast from both the Arcane Bolt and the Unratis. But now Unratis taking a lot of damage as well. Their hull is spiking all over the place. Their balloon could go down here. Outer hull goes down. Perma-hull is at half. Big shots coming from both that Spire and the Admiral Quackbar and Dancing Feather. Arcane Bolt sitting back and pecking away with the Artemis. Oh my goodness, though. That Spire goes down first. First point going to the Ducks. Turning things around here to this side. The Arcane Bolt is now in a 2v1 scenario. Certainly they're going to try and take stuff out with that very long-range field gun, but they're getting out of here, right?
They're definitely getting out of there. They're trying to pull back, get that Spire to do a definite backup. That Lumberjack trying to knock out another Junker and get them out of arc.
Swinging around here to where the Arcane Bolt is facing. It is taking an immense amount of perma-hull damage. Very accurate shots coming from the Dancing Feather. Ducks are known for their high quality of shot and the amount they practice with that. Certainly, Arcane Bolt is having a very tough time managing the amount of damage coming out of this situation. Admiral Quackbar is still sitting at about half perma-hull, but I don't think that's going to be too big of a problem with how much they pushed back that Mobula. What options right now do the Glowwater Thralls have? The Arcane Bolt is sitting in a very bad position. Their outer hull goes down once more. They could very easily lose that ship. How do they deal with this scenario?
They need to take cover in in clouds, get the drop on them that they probably have already noticed. The Ducks are trying to move around the Juggernaut ship and come around to the side. They need to set up a point so when the Ducks completely come out of the open, that they'll be able to knock them to the ground and get them out of arc of their armistices. They can't aim up. So should you use that lumberjack, knock out the balloon, and keep them on the sand ground, then you've got it and good to go.
Does that lumberjack need to be focused squarely on the balloons? We know how amazing it is with popping balloons. Should that be its only job right now?
Well, the lumberjack is very versatile, but for this point and only, if you can keep the balloon popped all the time and keeping the Artemis down on the ground and away from its arc, they can't do anything. Yeah, the Hades can get in there sometimes, but the Hades doesn't have the perma-hull popping power that an explosive is known for.
Mm-hmm. Dancing Feather and Admiral Quackbar are just holding right inside. Get a little closer here. Right inside the wreck. Using both cloud cover and the wreck itself to block any kind of shot the Glowwater Thralls might have. Neither team is really eager to get into a close-range combat situation, but the Glowwater Thralls are approaching the wreck in formation. That Mobula being slightly forward. You can only guess that both teams have a pretty good feeling of where each one is. Glowwater Thralls might be a little confused about distance and location. Oh, no, we have spots going out on both the Arcane Bolt and the Unratis. I don't believe the ducks have been spotted yet. Can you confirm the ducks have not been spotted yet?
Ducks have not been spotted.
At all. Advantage ducks in this situation. They're going to start using their medium to long range capabilities to pick off the Arcane Bolt. Although I'm not sure they realize how badly damaged it is. Flying on a ship, you don't have health bars to see like we do. You don't have the ability to see exactly what stats or what parts are broken. Oh my god, Admiral Quackbar taking a lot of damage all of a sudden. Did you see where that came from?
I think that was a combination of the Hades coming from the Spire, and then what that synergy that they had with the Mobula, those two Artemises falling at the same time. As soon as it got stripped, the Mobula was ready to go.
Balloon is still down on the Admiral Quackbar. Not a good scenario for it. It's heading towards the ground. It might tap. There it goes. Nasty tap on that piece of wreckage. But it bounces right back in the air and shoots straight up. Unratis and Arcane Bolt are pretty much untouched right now. They've barely taken a smidge of damage. But Admiral Quackbar, their balloon goes down again. They could tap against the wreck again. They could tap against this side. They're losing permahull. They're losing balloon. They are in deep trouble. Admiral Quackbar could go down in this scenario. There it goes. Focused fire from both the Arcane Bolt and the Spire, the Unratis. Effective takedown. Extremely effective disabling. You mentioned that too, Elusive. Balloon goes down. They're in trouble. You called that one.
Exactly. Unratis knew exactly how to capitalize on their lumberjack capabilities, and they did it. It was perfectly and well done.
Checking out the map here. Whoo boy, Dancing Feather really trying to hold back, using that wreck for as much cover as possible. He does not want to engage in a 2v1 long-range scenario, especially with the amount of firepower that Spire can put out. That Spire's a little frightening. Looks like the Ducks are coming back in formation right now. It's 1v1, so it's now essentially a new game, except four kills gets a win instead of 5. As a Ducks member, do you guys practice for these kinds of scenarios where you're not exactly sure how your strategy is working and if you need to change it?
They do try to mix things up. For the most part, they kind of like a favorite sort of strategy, and they stick to it. But the good thing about Frogger and Sammy is that they do know that if something isn't working, they need to fix it. And they will try and move around. I think what they might try and do now is either stay here where they're at, or use the cloud cover that is moving now and jump into it. But from what I can see, they're just regrouping and sitting put.
It's a really tough situation, I think, at least for the Ducks right now. Their specialty is that medium to long range disabling firepower that's just going to systematically pick apart a ship. But the Unratis has the ultimate long range advantage in not just that lumberjack, but the accurate firepower that's coming from the support guns as well. It's it's something that you have a tough time thinking about because you have a specific strategy you focused on, but they're doing that strategy better.
Right. That's also why the Ducks will put on their brawler side of their Junker and that synergy we were talking about earlier with the Banshee, Light Carousel, and the Carronade, and what they've got for the Mortar and Gatling. Actually, I think they replaced that Gatling with an Artemis. Nope, they did not. They do still have that Gatling. So if they find that this long range isn't working, they might try and rush them with Kerosene and do a brawler side.
Do you think we might see more aggressive play from your Ducks companions?
Mike, I think, Dan, your mic is cutting out there.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, we don't want to cut out. Do you think we might see more aggressive play from your Ducks companions?
It's all about how close they can get and how quickly they can close the distance. Unratis and Arcane are doing a very excellent job of keeping their distance. They're keeping them on the other side of the Juggernaut, keeping those balloons popped. It is only a matter of time to see how well those shots get through.
Good shot so far on the Unratis. It is taking an incredible amount of damage. The Arcane Bolt is in a really bad position for this engagement because the Admiral Quackbar and the Dancing Feather were essentially able to focus all their fire right on the Unratis. Spire, not known for its durability. It goes down. Second kill for the Ducks, and the Arcane Bolt is in trouble. How critical was that positioning when it came to where the Unratis was and how far away the Arcane Bolt was from it?
The Unratis was actually in good position. The only problem was the Arcane Bolt was not. Their Artemises were not ready to go. They were too low to the ground, and it hurt them, and that's exactly why the Spire went out.
Once again, the Spire not known for its durability at all. It gets ripped to shreds in mere moments sometimes. Unfortunate situation that gave the Ducks their second point for this match. Unratis moving back into position now.
I think it is obvious the Ducks don't know how close to death the Arcane Bolt actually is. If they did, they might have closed the distance and done a 2v1 there, and then been able to sit on spawn and just get them.
Yeah, I clearly they don't realize it at this point. It's like you just need to hit its hull a little bit, just push it gently over that edge, and it's already gone. And Mobula isn't exactly a hard target to hit. It has that big kind of centralized formation where it has the big balloon right below it. It has a big deck. It's not that hard to hit. It's not that hard to pick off.
You're absolutely right. If they can get above the Mobula, of course, with those Artemises and get looking to hop down on that deck, it is easy to hit the hull armor.
Long-range shots going out between the Unratis, Dancing Feather, and Admiral Quackbar. The Mobula supporting as well against the Admiral Quackbar. It looks like Glowwater Thralls is focusing mostly on the Admiral Quackbar right now, trying to do as much damage as possible. Some components have gone down. 2 of the guns, one of the guns is on fire, and 2 of their engines are down on the Admiral Quackbar. Good recovery though, not a ton of overall damage dealt. Pretty superfluous so far for what they've been able to do. But balloon goes down again. They take out the Admiral Quackbar's balloon again. This could be trouble. We remember last time that the Admiral Quackbar tapped down in this matchup, and it did lead to the first point for the Glowwater Thralls. Crew, though, of the Admiral Quackbar pick it back up, maintain. They are in the air once again.
You know, it seemed to what the Ducks were trying to do is they were actually trying to use Sammy as bait and pull them back in while the Dancing Feather stayed over there, but they did not take the bait. They held their ground as much as they should.
Glowwater Thralls has really been stepping up their game lately. The last couple weeks, we've seen a lot of great stuff from them. They have discipline, they train, they focus. I've really liked what I'm seeing in the competitive market when it comes to what the Glowwater Thralls have to offer. Arcane Bolt is moving just a little bit forward from its Spire. I don't think that's a mistake, though. It's definitely trying to play cover for the slightly squishier Spire. Both ships still focusing all their firepower on the Admiral Quackbar. Balloon takes another hit, but it's not too bad. Glowwater Thralls sense blood, though. They are going to try to go in for the kill, and Dancing Feather is going to be right there ready to go. half-decent tar barrel going down there. I just can't speak today for some reason. Dancing Feather is just happily hiding in this cloud here. Oh, they have been exposed, though. They have been sighted, although not spotted, by the Arcane Bolt and the Unratis.
Looks like the Spire's taking some shots.
Ooh, yeah. Yes, they are. Balloon has taken some fire. The hull has been ripped apart. Those Hades shots are really, really taken into it. They have sunk below the wreck, however, and I do believe they're going to be fine for the time being. Arcane Bolt now in the line of fire. Both those Hades shots, you can see them quite clearly on the screen in front of you. Boom! Wow.
That Spire's got to be careful here. If he stays where he's at, he might get closed in on. He's very, very close to trouble.
Yeah, you never... The Spire, as we mentioned before, has... It dies very quickly, especially if you're not cautious about it. Admiral Quackbar has been spotted by the Unratis, and it looks like they're going to do some disabling as they're reversing to their teammate. Oh, Admiral Quackbar's balloon went down again. Whoever's on that lumberjack on the Unratis is really just hunting and hammering that balloon, trying to keep them out of the air. Junkers, as I'm sure you know, have those very big, rich, easily targetable balloons. And once they start going down, especially with Artemis setups like the Ducks have, it can be difficult to get your feet back out under you. Is it a good idea, though, for... Never mind, it was already a bad idea. I was going to ask why the Spire was so eagerly moving forward. That was a bad idea, though.
In this sense, if the Ducks wanted to stay hidden, especially over there with the Dancing Feathers sitting happily in the clouds, they could just simply back right back up and bring the fight back to them, and that seems to be what they're doing.
They're using that position of the wreck and the repeated clouds coming through the area, as well as tar barrels, to keep the fight on their terms. When the Spire and the Mobula were able to start focusing their fire, Admiral Quackbar simply pulled it back. They said, okay, we're going to make you come to us now. If you want to keep the pressure on us, you have to move. And if you're forcing this setup of a very long-range Spire and a semi-long-range Mobula to be moving around a lot in that much in this kind of environment, where you're pinching them around a corner, it can be really devastating. Did those just run into each other? One more kill gets the win for the Ducks. 4 more for the Glowwater Thralls. Should the Ducks just charge at this point?
You know, there is cloud cover on the Spire and the Mobula, so as it comes to it, I don't think they would see it coming either, but if they do move over, it seems Unratis, that cloud has seemed to be passing. They will be spotted coming all the way through. If Luisi on that lumberjack can knock out balloons like he did earlier, the Ducks will be in trouble. So standing where they are is good, because they're doing what's called peeking. They can pop out and pop back in, so they don't take too much damage.
Admiral Quackbar has lost his balloon again, and he is going down dangerously close to the wreck. We're going to get up close here and just watch this to see if he does get a tap. Admiral Quackbar still descending. Arcane Bolt, though, is taking a lot of damage. It is taking immense amounts of damage. Its hull has all but evaporated under withering firepower from both those Junkers. And although Admiral Quackbar is going to tap here, too much firepower on the Mobula, they go down. 5-1 win for the Ducks. Elusive, thank you so much for joining me today for this matchup. We will see you next time.